here is this drapier. This is like a bamboo cotton knit. You can see this seam got quite distorted. It's quite rippled. And now I have to do a little bit of troubleshooting because my differential feed is set to 2. So the feed dogs are feeding at the right spot. My stitch length is a little short. It's at 2. Maybe I forgot to change that setting. So it's a little bit close. This is what I was saying about those shorter stitch lengths stretches it out. So I'm gonna maybe make the stitch length a little bit longer. The stitch length, the width is at 7. I think what might be the problem here is maybe the presser foot pressure. I think there's maybe too much weight on that foot. And because this is a very stretchy fabric, as the weight is being applied to that foot, it's stretching the seam out. So on the Brother, this is just a little dial at the top. Okay, here we go. This is much better. I'm gonna keep my settings. I'm gonna go back to a neutral position. So I'm gonna make sure that all of my tension discs are at 4. I'm going to increase my stitch width to 7 because with knits, it's nice to have a slightly deeper stitch width. And just for giggles, I'm gonna keep the differential feed at 1, even though I know with knits, it's better to increase it. I just wanna show you what it looks like because here we had the differential feed at 1 and this sample is perfect. There's nothing's getting distorted. So let's see if we're gonna have the same effect here. Now this is a Ponte. It's slightly more stable than a drapier knit. So it's possible that the differential feed doesn't need to get adjusted. Let's take a look. So I want a 3/8 seam here. Here's that 3/8 mark here. It's the edge of the plate here. I want to be right in front of the knife. I'm going to just want to catch just the front edge of my fabric while being in front of the knife as I sew this. Okay, let's take a look at this. Now it's subtle and it might be hard to see on camera, but I can tell that this seam got a little distorted as it went through the machine. Because it's a knit and the knit is stretching as it's going through the machine, the presser foot is putting a little bit of pressure on it and then it's getting stitched. Because the feed dogs are set to 1, it's just stretching the seam out. And so over a little piece of fabric like this, I mean, if I can fold it over here, just to even see, it's stretched out maybe 1/4 of an inch over the length of this fabric. But you can imagine if you were sewing a t-shirt or a pair of pants, that entire seam, that's gonna increase over the length of that seam. And by the time you get to the bottom, you might have ended up increasing the length of that seam by 1 inch. So it's really, really important that when you're sewing knits that you're paying attention to differential feed. But let's just take a look at the tension, because that's the second thing that we're looking at. Again, from the front side of this, all of this looks good. I'm not seeing the lower looper flip to the side. My needle threads look good. They're all seated properly in the fabric. If I turn it over, it's looking great too. I'm not seeing that raised loop issue that I was seeing on the denim. The lower looper is looking good. This actually looks like a perfectly balanced stitch, but I have this issue with the differential feed. Back to my machine. I'm gonna turn the differential feed up. Because it's a Ponte and it's a little bit more stable, and that amount of distortion was somewhat mild, I don't know if I need to go all the way up to 2. I think 1.5 is probably enough to get the seam at the proper length. So I'm just gonna cut this entire section off and kind of start fresh. And one thing I want you to be conscious of again is just this little tail and making sure it's not getting pulled or sucked. You don't necessarily have to keep your hand on it the entire time, but you do want to make sure that it's well out of the way. It's still looking a little distorted to me. It's very slightly wavy. It's hard to see on camera. Maybe if I angle it a bit, you can see there's a little bit of a wave to that, which I don't want to see. And also what happened was that the lower level or the lower layer of this is peeking out slightly. So the layers got slightly misaligned. The top layer got forced forward about 1/8 of an inch. And if I was to turn it around on the wrong side, you would see that the entire top layer had shifted. So that might be something we could solve with 2 things. One, pins. So just making sure that these pieces were kind of really anchored together prior to going through. The other option would be to maybe lower the tension on the presser foot so that there's not as much force being put on that foot and it's not squeezing those layers so tightly. I also think the differential feed needs to get increased slightly. So I had said maybe 1.5 is okay. Maybe it's not. Maybe we're going to go all the way up to 2. And we're going to try with a new fresh sample. And this time I'm going to try pinning these layers together to help anchor them. And what's important to know with pinning and sergers is that you absolutely cannot sew over a pin with your serger. Two things are going to happen. One, it's going to get jammed in your knife and then possibly damage your knife. And more dangerously is if it makes it past the knife and it gets into the needle area where you have your stitch finger, where the stitch is getting wrapped around the stitch finger, and you have the needles puncturing it. I've sewn over needles and the machine broke and it immediately needed to go and get serviced. So you can pin, and one of the things that I really like about serging actually is that you can leave your pins in while you're serging, but you need to put your pins well away from where the foot is. So if I go and look here, I have about 1 inch. So if I pin, instead of, often with sewing, we're pinning perpendicular to the seam line. Here, I want to pin parallel, and I want to pin about 1 inch away at least. So these layers are being held together. But when I go to my machine, I can just sew right past them and they're not going to get caught in anything. Okay, so I've got my layers pinned. I've set my differential feed to 2. If we think of this like a science experiment, you don't want to change too many variables at once. So I don't want to adjust the foot pressure yet. I want to just see if pinning this and turning the differential feed up is going to help with that layer misalignment. The other thing that can help with layer misalignment is starting as close as possible to the blade so that the feed dogs don't have to work too hard, right? Like if I start further back, it's easier for the feed dogs to misalign. But if I start a little bit closer, so they have a little bit more grip, and the layers are lined up here, it's just less likely that they'll get misaligned by the time they hit the needle. And as you can see, I've got lots of room here. Needles, I don't need to remove them. I'm not worried about sewing over them. Okay, this is looking much better. If I wanted to compare and just fold over, it's the same length. So it hasn't stretched out. It's the right length that it needs to be. I'm not seeing any wavering. I'm not seeing any puckering. I'll pull my pins out here. There is a very slight, not even maybe a 1/16 of an inch, that the fabric got misaligned on either side. So one of the things you can do if that's the type of thing that does you wild, and I would say especially if you're doing stripes, is that you can use double-sided hemming tape to help basically temporarily baste your seams together before you go through the machine so that they're absolutely not doing that. But I'll tell you a little trick about sewing with knits. This doesn't bug me. It's such a minute amount. It's not going to affect the fit of your garment. And so if you have a little bit of fabric misalignment like this, I would say even up to 1/8 of an inch. Honestly, I've had it up to 1/4 of an inch or even more. I just trim it. Nobody needs to know. Over the length of like a dress seam or something like that, you're not going to notice it. But all of this to say, the tension's good. The differential feed is good. I'm happy with this sample. But let's take a look at some different types of knits, because I do think it's helpful to understand how different knits react. And the other thing we haven't adjusted in any of this is the stitch width. So once again, Brother, because of the way this machine is marked, kind of has a 3 as the default length, as the stitch length. But I'm just going to increase this to 4, as high as it'll go. And let's just take a look and see what that looks like. So here's a longer stitch length. So here's 4. Here it's set at 3. And as you can see, there's a little bit more surface area of the seam kind of exposed, so it's maybe a little bit prone to fraying. And if I open this up, I can see the stitches are now 4 millimeters apart. So it's just not quite as strong a seam. So 3, if I go back to 3, there's less seam allowance exposed. If I open it up, they're 3 millimeters apart. This is just a slightly stronger seam. That said, let's just for fun turn this to 2. And see what that looks like. So here it is set to 2. Now for me, this is far too close. And because there's so many stitches, it also is more likely to stretch the fabric out. So even though I have my differential feet all the way up, I can tell this seam is starting to get a little bit distorted because the needle, there's just way too much happening. It's pulling that seam out. And it's kind of a waste of thread. Like, I don't need this much. This is too short. So I really think for the vast majority of stitches, I think just staying in the middle at about 3 millimeters is perfect. Okay, so I just want to try sewing on another knit, see if we get a different result. I'm going to set it to 3 to 7. Here we go. Here is this drapier. This is like a bamboo cotton knit. You can see this seam got quite distorted. It's quite rippled. And now I have to do a little bit of troubleshooting because my differential feed is set to 2. So the feed dogs are feeding at the right spot. My stitch length is a little short. It's at 2. Maybe I forgot to change that setting. So it's a little bit close. This is what I was saying about those shorter stitch lengths stretches it out. So I'm going to maybe make the stitch length a little bit longer. The stitch length, the width is at 7. I think what might be the problem here is maybe the presser foot pressure. I think there's maybe too much weight on that foot. And because this is a very stretchy fabric, as the weight is being applied to that foot, it's stretching the seam out. So on the Brother, this is just a little dial at the top. I'm just going to turn it up so that the screw rises, because the higher it is, the looser the pressure is. And let's just try to sew this again and see if we get a better result. Okay, here we go. This is much better. So I lengthened the stitch length a little bit, and then I reduced the pressure slightly of that foot, and now we're golden. You can see at the end of that seam, sometimes it gets a little bit distorted with knit. So I see like a little, just slightly 1/8 of an inch, it's going out this way. That's okay. Like it's nearly impossible for this to sew as perfectly evenly as a woven is. So if there's a little tiny bit of distortion at the end here, I don't want you to worry about that. I want you to look at the whole. And if you see distortion happening along the whole of the seam, that's where we need to make some corrections. And so this is what makes it a little bit more stressful to use on a regular sewing machine. On a regular sewing machine, the only thing you really need to worry about is your tension, right? You have like a tension setting. That's kind of it. You have one button you need to press if you're having issues with your tension. Where with the serger, you have that presser foot tension, you have your differential feed, the length of the stitch, depending on what fabric you have, might affect it. But it's just like with anything, you only get better at it when you practice. So if you're getting really frustrated with your machine, but you're not putting in the time to get to know how to operate it, I really suggest spending an hour and doing this exercise is not time wasted. It's time very well spent.